Hi and welcome to another imp video. Just to give you an idea of what's going to be happening in this video, the format will be something along the lines of we're going to run this engine, get a tune out of it, see if it's got any GGs, and then I'm doing a test tomorrow at Alton, or a track day, in the Hillman, in the blue and silver Hillman, and we'll get the video in there as well, make some video footage, and I'll try and edit it all and make it as short and interesting as possible. To give you a bit of background, the whole test is about this 1040cc engine with this head, which is a head I did a long time ago when I was working at B&J Engineering. I was surrounded by Lotus Cortina engines, so I was obviously fascinated by how much horsepower Bob managed to get out of these twin cam engines. So I thought I'll do my own inlet similar to a Lotus Cortina engine. So I just basically put it on the miller and snotted 4 big tubes in the side of the head and sweated them in, etc. Made a flange and I dynoed it several times, and I've got to be honest, it never did any more horsepower than a good CNC ported imp head. But the learning curve was there because of the longer inlet, and it's only about an inch longer, and it's a straighter run. It does have good torque, this head. So what I've done is, this cam that we're running in this engine, because of the regulations of the championship I want to run this engine in, or Young James, basically you can't have a spacer between the cam box and the head because the engine has to be aesthetically correct. So I can't use a longer valve and the bigger cam carrier with the bigger follower, etc. for the big lift cams. Now, lots of people in the imp world say, oh, you know, an imp doesn't flow much more after sort of 385 valve lift, and probably it doesn't flow any better on the flow bench, but just because it doesn't flow well on the flow bench doesn't mean to say it won't produce more horsepower or torque on the dyno. So I don't know what this is going to do yet. Ideally, I want it to be fast asleep till about 5,500 RPM, and I want it to come into life about 6 and pull through to 8.5 with a good solid, say 80 foot-pound of torque, and hopefully we might see like 105, 110 horsepower if we're lucky. Anyway, we'll see what happens in a minute when I fire it up and run it. But yeah, there you go. The engine is just 1040 imp, bit of a posh head, and it's got this very high lift cam in it, and it's a modern cam profile. It's not like an old Hartwell cam or anything. It's been done by Bob for this engine specifically, and with the intentions of making the power all in the top end of the RPM range, because now that we've got all the ratios working in the right place in the gearbox, we can keep this thing pinned between sort of 6 and 6.5 and 8.5. That 2,000 RPM window is where I want the horsepower. Right, well, I won't say any more. We'll see how we get on the dyno. Right, I've finished running in the 1040 with the new camshaft, and due to the what's the word for it, incorrectness of what we've done with this profile and this size follower, I thought before we go on the test day I'd better just take it apart and have a quick look at the followers and make sure that everybody's getting on okay. Obviously it's a steel Cosworth follower running on the chill cast cam, and from what I can see, everyone seems to be getting on really well. So we're gonna call that a tick box, put it back together and get the final runs out of it, and then ready for the test day. Right, we're just going to try a bit of a sweep. I'm going to start him off on 5,000 and let him run through. Try and see the torque. Let the dyno let go a bit more. Seeing good figures here now. Come on, let go. Kill it before we get to the track day. Right, we've had a few runs, trimmed the fuel, pulled a bit of advance out, put a bit in, messed around a bit, and I think it's about its best compromise now. It does hold on quite well, and it does have a little bit too much torque at sort of 4,000 RPM. It'd be great for my bad driving style, but not really what I wanted to achieve. These things don't always work out, but we get to learn every time, so it doesn't really matter. So I'll just put it through a bit of a run now. Hopefully the dyno is going to be nice and friendly and let go of it. No. Anyway, the horrible rattling noise is my dyno shaft. It's fine, it does that. Just get the dyno to let go a little bit. And then we'll just do a run. And see where so right, it's got all of it now. So 5,000 there, try and go 12 at 5, that's not fantastic, so that's quite a good sign. It might hang on. 4, it's definitely asleep there. Right, let's back the dyno off. See what it's doing up at this little 7,000 area. Right, so it's holding on the sort of 75, nearly 80 foot-pound there. So it's not fantastic, but we'll see what it's like in the car tomorrow. Right, we're on like a plan B now. Decided that because of the nature of the head and the longer inlet, it's still trying to do torque where I don't want it to do it. So thought rather than have it do no torque and no top end, we may as well bring the choke sizes down a bit and get the airspeed up and make use of that mid-range torque, because the engine is what it is and we're stuck with it now at this stage. So what I'm going to do is, a bit weak there, I'm going to do a 5,000 figure and see if we've got some decent torque there, and we'll concentrate on this being a learning curve. Another one. Come on, get all of it. Right, we're going. Okay, right. We'll load it up. I'm hoping we're going to see like 75 pound at sort of 5. Too out of range there. We've got it this time. There you go, at 5 we're seeing 70. Okay, let's see what it does at 7. Much crisper with the smaller shocks in. A little bit more on the gearbox. I just thought I'd put this on the video, YouTube video, because obviously gearboxes is a bit of a black art, aren't they? So no one really understands how they work. If I turn the input shaft there, I've got this casing which it's a scrap casing. I just cut it open so I could see what was going on inside, you know, when I'm building them, because these offsets, the gears don't always line up correctly, etc. So you can see that's the input shaft turning, and all of the gears on the output shaft are turning as well, but they're not engaged onto the pinion shaft until this is obviously the slider for 3rd and 4th, and this one is for 1st and 2nd. So that's 1st gear, obviously that's engaged in 2nd. You can see now it's turning the output shaft, and then obviously it comes out of 2nd, and we'll go into 3rd. See the dogs, how they catch. Very clever, very simple. That's what's best thing about it. It's so simple. So there's plenty of room in there. That's why they managed to do the jackknife 5-speed so easily, because make it all a bit slimmer. You can easily fit another gear in there, and you have actually got 3 rails. You've got a rail for 1st, a rail at 1st and 2nd, a rail for 3rd and 4th, and you've also got a rail for reverse. You see them there, there's 2 of them. There's the reverse one's not in at the moment. So you can use that reverse rail to engage another gear. But there you go. Yesterday was test day at Alton Park with the new Tilcast camshaft, and I've got to say the car performed really well until it stopped performing, that is. I've took some in-car footage which you probably just watched before this video, and you might have noticed that the engine just died all of a sudden. Now obviously we'd never run that much lift on a Tilcast cam before. They'd always been on a steel blank like this. So I'm going to try and be clever here and say my prediction when we take the cam cover off, which I'm going to do now in front of the camera, is that the camshaft failed, being only on 3 little mains, and all that lift, all that stress, it's just called it a day and broke. But we shall see very shortly. I'll pass the camera over to my cameraman. Put your fingers there, and then I'll just gently ease this off, and we'll see what we see. So this cam is a steel race cam on a billet. They're very expensive, so obviously when you do a new cam, sometimes it's more beneficial to do it on a Tilcast because it's a fraction of the price. I've just got to ease the cam cover off gently because it's being the downdraft head, it's held on with glue. Just to stop the oil from dripping everywhere. So right, it's ready to come off, mate. Come round here if you want. Is it going to be a mess, or is it going to be simple? Well, the fact it doesn't want to come off tells me something's not in the right place. Oh, wonderful. Right. So, I think... Oh, what's happened there? It's broke there. So the question is, did it break there first? Oh, look at that. That cam's had a repair. Bloody hell. Oh, I shouldn't swear on YouTube. I've not spotted that. That's a steel insert inside a Tilcast cam. It's had a thread repair that at some point. And I think that's failed. Then it's gone out of time and burst the cam. What a shame. It's not wrecked anything else. Right. Look at that. See that piece there? That, let's zoom in. That is steel. Because you can see how the crystalline's broken of the cast. Someone's put an insert in it. Bloody hell. Right, having a little pause there to think about this. This nut is still torqued, or this bolt should I say. So that hasn't failed. What's actually happened is, it's been tightened up, the nut, and obviously it's all pushing and pulling from the thread inside there, and you can see the shoulder where it's been. Let's get a torch on that. Yeah, right, because this blank cam came from the Roots factory, because it never had anything ground on it. That's why I thought, oh, we'll use that to get a learn on the new profile. But obviously someone's done a repair. Crazy. There you go. So obviously with this style cam, with the steel, the billet cam, which is gun drilled all the way through, we don't have that problem because it's made out of proper material. So I think what we'll take from this is from now on, all race cams have to be steel, and no messing around with this whole chill cast stuff. It's alright for a standard engine, but not for a racer. Hope you've enjoyed the videos. Okay, we just got the cam sprocket off the front of the cam now to try and understand exactly what's gone on here. As you can see, the cam has broken. That was all just due to the fact that the valves were out of time with the pistons, and obviously the shock has broken the cam. But it all started with this little problem here, which is basically someone's bored the end of the camshaft. I suspect because it had a damaged index on the front, which is the index is where the sprocket centres on the end of the cam. And then they've made this nice little boss and they've tapped it. But what really shocks me is that I'd have just left that clearance and then left the thread in the bottom, which it still has got. Because what's happened is I put my bolt in. That goes in there like that. Oh, sorry. That goes this way, sorry. So that was what the sprocket sat on there. And then that went into the front of the cam like that. So it looked perfect, but in actual fact, I was just tightening up into nothing. So, moral of the story is, trust nothing. Nothing is what it seems. Make sure everything you buy for your race engine is from a known source, where you could come unstuck like me. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the videos.